In a quiet meadow, under a blanket of stars, lived a little light named LUMI. LUMI wasn't very big, and sometimes felt very small indeed. But deep inside, LUMI held a warm, steady glow, a light full of kindness and hope. One night, LUMI saw something that made their light flicker with worry. Far away, the village of Gloom Hollow looked dim, not just dark, but sad. The usual cheerful twinkles from windows were gone. "Oh dear," whispered LUMI, "they need light. They need hope." LUMI's heart beat like a tiny drum. "It's so far, and I'm so small," they thought. But then LUMI remembered the warm feeling inside, the feeling of kindness. Even a little light can help, they decided bravely. Taking a deep breath, LUMI stepped onto the path towards Gloom Hollow. The path led through whispering woods. Shadows stretched long and seemed to whisper secrets. LUMI's light trembled a little. "Don't be scared, little light," LUMI whispered to themselves. "Your light is strong, it's kind." And as they walked, their glow pushed the shadows back, just enough to see the next step. Just then, LUMI heard a tiny sniffle. Under a bush sat Prickles the hedgehog, lost and shivering. "I can't find my way home in the dark," Prickles whimpered. LUMI's light shone warmly on the little hedgehog. "Don't worry, Prickles. My light can help you see. Hold close." LUMI's light grew a little brighter, not just for themselves, but for Prickles too. "See," said LUMI. "Together the path isn't so scary." Prickles smiled. "Your light is so kind." As they walked, friendly fireflies joined their little circle of light, making it even warmer. Soon they reached Gloom Hollow. The village felt heavy and quiet. Windows were dark, and the villagers looked tired and sad. "Why is it so dark?" asked Prickles. "The great lantern in the square went out," whispered a rabbit from a doorway. "And without its light, hope feels hard to find." LUMI looked at the tall, dark post where the great lantern should shine. "That's very high," LUMI said softly, "and I'm very small." The villagers sighed. "No one has been brave enough to climb since the light went out," said an old badger. "The shadows feel too strong." LUMI took a deep breath. Kindness needs courage, they remembered, and courage needs light. With their glow lighting each step, LUMI began to climb the tall post. "Go, LUMI!" cheered Prickles. The villagers watched, their eyes wide, as the little light climbed higher and higher. Up, up, up LUMI climbed. The wind whispered, but LUMI's light held steady. At the very top, they reached the cold, dark lantern. "Please," LUMI whispered, pouring all their kindness and hope into their glow. "Shine again." Whoosh! LUMI's warm, kind light flowed into the great lantern. For a moment, everything was still. Then, sprowing. The great lantern burst into life, not with a blinding flash, but with a warm, golden glow that spread like a hug over the whole square. Gloom Hollow wasn't gloomy anymore. Warm light filled the square, danced in windows, and made everyone's eyes sparkle. "Hooray for LUMI!" cried the villagers. "You brought back our hope." They lit their own little lanterns from the great light, sharing the warmth. LUMI floated down, tired but glowing brighter than ever. That night, Gloom Hollow celebrated. There was music, laughter, and stories shared under the warm, kind light. LUMI sat with Prickles, their little heart full. "You see," said Prickles, "your little light changed everything." LUMI smiled. "It wasn't just me. It was kindness and courage and all of us together." And so LUMI learned a wonderful truth. Even the smallest light, filled with kindness and courage, can push back the darkest night. Hope isn't just for the big or the bright. It starts with your own little spark, shining with all your heart. Never be afraid to let your light show, for the world needs your glow. Your light matters. Be kind, be brave. Shine on, little light, shine on.